Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. August 10th. Redoubling our efforts. To a degree, he has already done this when taking moral inventory, but now the time has come when he ought to redouble his efforts to see how many people he has hurt and in what ways. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 77. As I continue to grow in sobriety, I become more aware of myself as a person of worth. In the process, I am better able to see others as persons, and with this comes the realization that these were people whom I had hurt in my drinking days. I didn't just lie, I lied about Tom. I didn't just cheat, I cheated Joe. What were seemingly impersonal acts were really personal affronts because it was people of worth, whom I had harmed. I need to do something about the people I have hurt so that I may enjoy a peaceful sobriety. Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, August 10th. At an Al-Anon meeting, we discussed the way our housekeeping habits reflected the effects of alcoholism. One person shared that his life felt completely unmanageable unless his house was perfectly clean. Tidiness gave him an illusion of control. Others, including me, spoke of floors so strewn with clothes, books, and papers that we could not cross the room without stepping on or tripping over something. I had always considered this just a bad habit until I heard someone share that this clutter was her way of keeping people at a distance, isolating. Then I remembered that in the house where I grew up, clutter had served just this function. I was always afraid to invite friends over because everything was too messy. It was uncomfortable to realize that I was doing the same thing in adulthood that had kept me isolated as a child. Today's reminder: by taking a fresh look at what I thought of as just a bad habit, I can free my life of some clutter today. I can consider hidden motives for that habit without condemning myself or my family. Clutter doesn't have to be physical. I may also find areas of my mental, spiritual, or emotional life that are in disarray. I can heal without making moral judgments about myself or others. The Al Anon program gave me a new view of my world by helping me to see myself more clearly. One day at a time in Al Anon. Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, August 10th. Regular prayer and meditation. Most of us pray when we are hurting. We learn that if we pray regularly, we won't be hurting as often or as intensely. Basic text, page 45. Regular prayer and meditation are two more key elements in our new pattern of living. Our active addiction was more than just a bad habit waiting to be broken by force of will. Our addiction was a negative, draining dependence that stole all our positive energy. This dependence was so total it prevented us from developing any kind of reliance on a higher power. From the very beginning of our recovery, our higher power has been the force that's brought us freedom. First, it relieved us of our compulsion to keep taking drugs, even when we knew they were killing us. Then it gave us freedom from the more deeply ingrained aspects of our disease. Our higher power gave us the direction, the strength, and the courage to inventory ourselves, to admit out loud to another person what our lives had been like, perhaps for the first time, to begin seeking release from the chronic defects of character underlying our troubles, and at last to make amends for the wrongs we'd done. The first contact with a higher power and that first freedom has grown into a life full of freedom. We maintain that freedom by maintaining and improving our conscious contact with our higher power through regular prayer and meditation. Just for today, I will make a commitment to include regular prayer and meditation in my pattern of living. Today, Emotions Anonymous, August 10th. Reflection for today. The words, I am not alone, have come to mean several things to me. I joined EA in search of personal recovery, a desire to become well emotionally, as did all of us. But I have learned that my recovery is aided by your recovery. As I grow, I pass it on to you, and as you grow, you pass it on to others. Even though ours is, in a sense, a selfish program, I must remember that what I do for me, I do for you, and vice versa. What is good for me is good for you. We are all in this together. Meditation for today. May I never forget that when I help, I am helped. What I give away is doubly returned. Today I will remember, I am never alone. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. August 10th. Our past is an asset. Our experience tells us that our past can be our greatest asset if we are willing to ask for help and do the work to find out what happened. BRB, page 153. We sometimes wonder how differently we could have turned out had we been raised without the problems of alcoholism or family dysfunction. While it is normal for us to consider what ifs, we know that when we work through the abuse and hardships of our childhoods, we can come out so much better on the other side. But what can possibly make our past an asset? In recovery, we see that all we've been through provides us a unique opportunity to look deeper at our lives than we might have otherwise. We take on the risk of untangling the web of our history, knowing the greater peace will result. We revisit old wounds so that we may finally heal the hurt and better understand our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors today. We are able to reclaim our inner strength and learn from our struggles. In ACA, we don't do all of this work alone. We may have been alone as children, but now we have our fellow travelers. We hear them share the same pain and see the wisdom and knowledge they have gained in their own recovery. This same wisdom and knowledge is becoming part of who we are also. The affirmation reads, on this day, I recognize that my past provides a unique opportunity to grow in self-actualization. I look forward to the continual wisdom recovery offers. Please share, subscribe, and like. One day at a time. And remember that you are not alone.